In today's video, we're going to go over everything you might want to know about winters in Cedar City to give you an idea of what to expect in case you are thinking of moving here. My name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm with Stratum Real Estate Group. If you are looking to buy or sell here in Cedar City or really anywhere in Southern Utah, I would love to help you out with that. Please feel free to call, text, or email anytime. That contact information is down below in the description. All right, we're going to go over a huge list of things that you'll want to know about Cedar City's winters. I tried to keep it in an order that made sense. If it's not, I'm sorry, did my best. If there's anything I'm missing, leave it down below in the comments and I will be sure to get back to you. The first thing I want to talk about is Cedar City's snowfall and weather. I get a lot of people wondering, how much snow do you get in Cedar City? Well, Cedar City is still located in the desert. It's a high desert, so we're at a higher elevation. We're right around 6,000 feet above sea level. So we are a little bit cooler. We get those 4 mild seasons. We get snow, but it's a desert. So when you think about that, the snow is coming as much as rainfall would come. We're going to get about 9 to 11 inches a month just in our cold month. So we're seeing snow roughly between November and April. Most of it is going to be in December, January, February though, and those are the months where we might see 9 to 11, 12 inches of snow a month on average. It's going to vary every year. Our temperatures here in the wintertime are going to be between the low 20s and the low 40s on average. There will be times when it gets lower than that. There was one morning I woke up and it was at 2 degrees. So that happens. There will be times when it is warmer than that, just depending on how the weather adjusts. That's just going to be your average temperatures. Now, when we talk about this snow, even when you hear those inches, it kind of sounds like a lot. It's really not. If you go up to Brian Head, you're getting 300 inches of snow annually, so that's going to be a lot more. When our snow comes, it pretty much melts off pretty quickly. We'll have our snow plows that will come out early in the morning if we've received snow during the night. They'll clear those roads pretty quickly, and then if we have some warm days right after that, then it's going to melt right off. You might see some piles around trees where it's built up, or in shaded areas where that snow has built up and not been cleaned off, but for the most part, it's a really manageable winter here as far as snow goes. Now, with that being said, if you are living here in the wintertime, you'll want to make sure that you are prepared for those road conditions. I recommend having 4-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive vehicle. You will feel your tires slip under you if those roads get icy. Even if we don't get snow, we do reach freezing temperatures in the evening time. So when you wake up, there might be a little bit of ice on the road with the condensation that has happened. And then of course, if you are going up into higher elevations than Cedar City, going where there might be a little bit more snow, you might even consider investing in some chains to put on your tires before you go up to, say, Brian Head or Duck Creek. Now, being a part of our community, there are some snow removal responsibilities. You are required to clear the sidewalk in front of your home, and of course, you're required to clear your own driveway if you don't want that messing up your concrete. If you leave that snow too long, it will eventually deteriorate your concrete. I found that it's easiest to remove the fresh snowfall. So if you get out there with a shovel, remove it from your driveway. It'll make it easier for you to get in and out. And then of course, the city does require you keep your sidewalks clear just for the community, for the public, so that people can actually walk down the street. There are some neighborhoods and developments that will come around and do this if you're within an HOA that has that as part of their HOA fees. But for the most part, I go out, we clear our own sidewalk, our own driveway. Sometimes you'll get a nice neighbor that wants to clear everyone's sidewalk. That's wonderful. If they do that for you, make sure you thank them, because not everyone wants to get out there and do it. Now, as far as the weather or the snow affecting our school and work routine, it really doesn't. We expect for it to come. So last year, the school, they didn't have any snow days. There was one day last year where the snow came during the night and more fell than was expected. So they delayed the start time by 2 hours, but there wasn't a snow day. We would have to get quite a lot of snow that the snow plows would be backed up, and it was continuing to come all day for there to really be a snow day. For the most part, we're prepared for it. So plan on going to work, plan on your kids going to school. We rarely have those snow days. Now, I get a lot of questions from people when their kids come in, how should I dress them for school? The schools, they're still going to let your kids out to play. One of the schools, Gateway Preparatory Academy, if your students go there, I know that they stopped doing recess in that second trimester of school. So when the temperature is below 20 degrees, then the students aren't out for recess. However, if it's warmer than that and you're not having a pouring downfall of rain or snow, then the students are going to go out and play in it. So make sure that you're sending them in their heavy coats, boots, and gloves. Otherwise, the teachers might keep them from going out and playing, or they won't get to go and have fun with their friends. They might come in with wet clothes. It's just not fun for your kids. So make sure that you are sending them with that kind of attire when they are going to school. I know that my son was really sad when he would show up without his boots and he wouldn't get to go do the recess outside in the snow with the other kids because of fear of his shoes and socks getting wet. So just something to consider there. Now, with it getting colder in the winter, of course, it is going to affect your utility costs. Cedar City does have pretty affordable living as far as our utilities go. However, I will see my gas bill go quite a bit higher in the winter because my heater uses gas, and so that bill will go up. However, my air conditioning isn't going on in the wintertime, so my power bill goes down. So just be aware, depending on what your source is, you could see that bill climb quite a bit as you're working to heat your house. Another thing to note, which is typical of anywhere in the West, are our shorter days here. The sun is going to set roughly around 5 p.m. We won't really see it coming back up until around 7:30 in the morning, much brighter around 8 a.m. So our days are quite a bit shorter. And this does affect our pace of life here. Cedar City has a slower pace of life anyway. You'll notice that if you're coming from a larger city, that things in Cedar City tend to move a little bit slower. It's definitely a comfortable, quiet pace of life. In the winter, it gets even slower than that. And that's because a lot of our tourism has died down in the wintertime. We'll get a lot of tourism in the summer with the Utah Shakespeare Festival, a lot of the parades and festivals that we have going on, or people that are coming to visit Zion or Duck Creek or any of the local areas. Cedar City is a big tourism location. However, in the wintertime, our shorter days, things being colder, that tourism goes down a little bit. We still get it, just not as much. Now, even though that slower pace of life can feel a little bit more relaxing in the wintertime, it does kind of give you this feeling of isolation because it does get darker earlier, which means the colder temperatures come when it gets dark. So unless you are getting yourself out, you will feel that isolation. However, there are so many community events in the wintertime. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about Cedar City. I love living here in the wintertime, and it's because of the community and the festivities that take place. For example, we just had our downtown lighting ceremony. This always takes place the first Saturday after Thanksgiving. The city will shut down Main Street. Crowds fill Main Street. They've set up all the lights to go down Main Street, our holiday lighting. However, they don't actually turn it on till that night. They'll have a lot of performances on a stage. They fly Santa in on a helicopter. One lucky child will win and be able to fly in with Santa. Then they'll have a lot of different vendors, fun activities there. There's carriage ride that you can do. They have the holiday tree jubilee that has tons of beautifully decorated Christmas trees that are donated. You can go in, you can vote on them, and then if your ticket's drawn, you've actually won a fully decorated, beautiful tree. I absolutely love this event. This year, we were out there with my daughter, and we were counting down for this lighting ceremony for all of the lights to turn on. We're hearing the Christmas music, everybody's in their festive gear, and my daughter looks at me and she said, "We really do live in a Hallmark town." Now, she's one that loves all her Hallmark movies. She loves to read, and she loves to put on sweaters and drink hot chocolate in the winter. So I don't know, it just warmed my heart. I loved knowing that she felt that coziness and that happiness because I know how she feels about it. But the lights went on, fireworks went off. It was just such a wonderful community event. That's just one of them. We have plays and musicals and concerts and farmers markets, and there are so many holiday events here. We actually have one at my brokerage every year that you definitely want to try and attend with your family when you come in. It's completely free, and it just gives an opportunity for, again, the community to get together and to celebrate the season together. So although our days end early, there are plenty of festivities to take part in to make sure that you don't feel isolated while still enjoying that relaxing time at home. Now, also with our winters here in Cedar City comes our winter winter recreation activities. Cedar City, southern Utah, is known for outdoor recreation. Most of it takes place in the summertime and in the spring as people are going to Zion and Bryce Canyon and just exploring those red rocks. However, Cedar City is in a great location for all of those winter sports. We have Bryan Head that's about 40 minutes north of us. We have Duck Creek that's about 40 minutes east of us. In Bryan Head, you can do skiing, snowmobiling, you can do snowboarding. There's ice skating there. There's sledding there. In Duck Creek, you can do your snowmobiling. If you go up to Woods Ranch, which is on the way up to Duck Creek, there's a great hill where you can sled down with your friends, your family. I try to go every year. It's a good time and not that far out of town. So definitely a perk and benefit of living in Cedar City. You can be in those higher altitudes with more snow for those winter activities without really getting a ton of it in Cedar City in a short amount of time. Now add to that our beautiful winter landscaping. What's unique about Cedar City and the area surrounding is we have a lot of red rock cliffs. So Bryan Head, which is the ski resort that's just about 40 minutes northeast of us, you can be on the ski lift and you can see red rocks in the distance with snow on it. We're one of the only locations, if not the only, where you see red rocks covered in snow while you are skiing. Not to mention seeing Cedar Mountain and the Pine Valley Mountains and Kolob Canyon covered in snow in the wintertime, and it will be covered at the tops of it without coming down into the valley, so you can see it. It gives you a very picturesque view without it actually being on top of you all the time. What's also great about the scenery around here, when we get these colder temperatures in the winter and we have these clear skies, it's great to go out, do some stargazing. The night sky looks so beautiful. We don't have the city lights that you might see in St. George or Las Vegas. Las Vegas will light up forever. If you drive out of the city just a little ways, you're going to get a beautiful night sky and be able to see just all those stars above you. And one thing I want to note about our winters here is the accessibility to nearby parks. You will notice that there are areas you won't be able to get to. So for example, in the summertime, you can typically drive from Duck Creek to Bryan Head, and it will only take you about 35 minutes. In the wintertime, that pass is closed because of the snowfall. So you would have to come down into Cedar and back up into Bryan Head, or the other way around. Same thing with Navajo Lake. Navajo Lake is closed down for those winter months. You can't access that. Or Right Hand Canyon Road, which takes you up to Cedar Mountain. So there are going to be areas in the wintertime that are not accessible, and that's something to be aware of when you're making your plans or when you live here. You may occasionally run into some deer coming down the mountain. So be aware of your surroundings when you are driving. They don't typically go to the really populated areas, but we have so many outskirt roads around here that you could see deer as you're driving up the mountain or even through town. They're coming down the mountain to get out of that cold weather. And then the last thing that I wanted to note is we're still a desert. It is winter time. So I've noticed that the air kind of gets pretty dry. My hair will get a little bit more dry. My skin's a little bit more dry. I feel like I need more chapstick. So if that's something that bothers you when you're sleeping, you may want a humidifier. Make sure you're conditioning your hair, lotion on your hands, plenty of chapstick. I have noticed that I just feel a little bit more dry in the wintertime. All right, I know I said this would be everything. It's probably not everything. I can't think of everything. But again, if you do think of something or if you have a question, put it down below in the comments. I'm happy to respond to that, or you can reach out to me. Remember, my name is Elizabeth Prisbrey. I'm a Stratum Real Estate Group. I really would love to help you buy here, or if you have a home to sell here, I'd love to help you do that as well. Feel free to reach out anytime. I promise you I will respond. All right, until next time, have a wonderful day.